And welcome to Odd Musings, episode 203. We've got Scott all blacked out. We've got Joe Webler, the legend. What's going
Hey
on,
there.
Joe?
Hi, guys.
Oh, looks like we lost Scott. He'll be back, hopefully.
Hopefully,
Scott's,
they pass out.
yeah, Jill's got him locked in the back bedroom, so he is recovering from having his innards ripped out yesterday.
Yep.
So
He's recovering nicely. Hopefully, he'll be joining us. If we don't see him in a few minutes, I will check on him. Oh,
there
we
he
might have
is.
light.
He's trying to get some good
Goodness.
lighting going. Sorry, Scott, you're still ugly.
I was trying to share the post on Facebook to my page, but because Facebook has the thing, I hate how they have these pages set up now.
Yeah. Well, it's because like the Odd Musings, they made us choose it as like a profile now, which is ridiculous. And
so when I went in there to try to save it, it kicked me out of StreamYard.
Well, we'll share them after we get all done here today, and everybody can catch up with us at a later time because we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. But I think we should. I'm gonna kick it off real quick with our sponsor, Loringer Family Chiropractic Center PC, where your journey to wellness begins here. They offer on-site digital x-rays, massage therapy, orthotics by foot levelers, young living essential oils, aromatherapy, full line of vitamins, all in a family-oriented environment. Give Loringer Family Chiropractic a call at 734-697-4244. You can visit them online at loringerfamilychiropractic.com. We have a link at oddmusings.com for you. And of course, then my computer decides it wants to act up. So hopefully, there we go. There's Loringers. So there they are right there. All the cool stuff they do. You can check out at Facebook at loringerfamilychiro.com. As always, I was just there yesterday. I love getting adjusted there every week. I feel much better as my days go on after getting adjusted until I have to get adjusted again the next week. So it's always a lot of good things going on with them. So and then we also have now. So who are we going to get to do the second one? Since
go ahead, Jill.
All right, I'll do the talking. Scott may be too weak. No, I'm just kidding. So the other sponsor is Team Titans out of Realty Executives Hometown. As you all know, Scott and I are agents, and we would love to help you either sell or buy a home, maybe get into some investment property. We do it all. We're a full service realtor. And we've been busy this past week. We actually have 2 new listings going live on Friday, one in Rochester and one in Pontiac, Michigan. So if anybody is looking for homes in those areas, or you know somebody that is looking, we would love to talk to you and try to see if we can make something happen for your potential buyer and our sellers. But Scott, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Brett, is her audio breaking up?
Yes.
Your audio is breaking up, Jill.
So how would I fix that?
We'd have to get you a headset with microphone.
Yeah, I think your laptop's trying to compensate for blocking out background noises and cutting you off.
Okay.
We can still understand you.
Okay.
All right. So how am I doing? Well, I'm doing well. Of course, just as I start talking, I feel dry. There we go. So as people who follow me know, I had a hernia surgery done yesterday. Overall, doing very well. It was a really cool process. It was using the Da Vinci robot. So it was a robot-assisted surgery. Really cool the way it works. They go in, they go in with a 3D camera that they put in there. And the key is they go behind the muscle wall. So a traditional hernia surgery, they cut through it, which has a longer healing time, more potential for chronic pain afterwards, because when they cut through that muscle tissue, they could damage nerves. But with the Da Vinci robot, they go behind the muscle instead and do all the work that way. So it was really cool. But they have this 3D camera that goes in, and the surgeon is actually sitting with his back to me across the room. Now, they knocked me out. I was completely out. But he's got his back to me, and he's looking in this machine. And for him, it's like he's inside. It's full 3D, which is pretty bizarre. So they do the surgery, put the patch on, get out. And it was sore yesterday, still sore today, but getting better. And as far as restrictions go, pretty much it's just based on pain. He said, if I can bounce up and down without pain, then I'm good to do whatever. So that's pretty much it. But I've been moving around quite a bit today and feeling good.
Well, good. I know you were worried about being out for a few days, not really be able to do anything afterwards. So it sounds really cool. The new technique they have.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. So very blessed. My doctor, Dr. Roy Hanks, he's somebody I knew from Rock Point Community Church that I used to go to way back when. He's an amazing surgeon. I actually came upon him by accident. I went for another surgeon. I had a consult, was not thrilled with the consultation there. He was using the traditional method. So I decided to get a second opinion, and then looking up doctors who do this, I saw his name pop up. So I went and saw him, and I wasn't even considering the Da Vinci robot method, but that's what he does. Answered all my questions. He did just a phenomenal job. I had the surgery at McLaren Hospital in Mount Clemens. Staff was phenomenal there. So really appreciate all their work over there.
Awesome. Glad to hear that.
Yeah. I love this front lighting going on. It's like the ultimate ring light. I'm standing in front of the window. I don't look like the 50-year-old grumpy man.
Yeah, we can see every gray hair going on. Just perfect lighting.
Yes, for those people, I get people who still accuse me of dyeing my beard. What? There. I can't. There it goes. I definitely do not dye my beard.
He might black Sharpie it once in a while, but he doesn't dye his beard.
And I still question if he does perms, but I don't know.
All natural. Still got it.
Yeah. So, Jill, how have you been?
I have been good. Just busy with real estate, busy with my kids. One of my daughters is a senior this year in high school, so we're at that point where we're figuring out, do we do a graduation party? Do we not? With COVID, you could invest a lot of money into this and have people not show up. So we're trying to find that right balance of a party that would maybe make people feel safe and still want to come. And then figuring out what college she's going to go to. So I've been really busy with her, trying to get this all figured out. Some big decisions here.
Cool.
But outside of that, just glad that spring is here. Mm-hmm. As a new homeowner, I have a lot of outside work I need to do still. So I've got my to-do list, I already fertilized the grass. Now I need to plant flowers and do mulch and all that stuff. So I've got plenty on my list to keep me busy right now.
Oh, very cool. And you guys are newly engaged. I know Scott and I talked about it a couple weeks ago.
Yes. Super, super happy and excited. I get to marry the nicest man in the world.
Well,
sorry, ladies, you're out of luck. I got him.
Brett and Connie know me too well to agree to that statement.
Yeah. Scott, the drugs are working great, man.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, he's been slipping them Quaaludes for a while now into Jill's coffee.
Hey, Brett.
Yes.
Brett, I got a quick request. Since
Yes.
I can't do the share to my page, can you go to the Facebook and say share to a friend's page?
I will try that.
And share it to mine? Just my personal page.
Just your personal page? Okay. So
yeah.
We'll share. I'm hitting the share button. Share. Well, of course, it's not going to probably give me the option to do it. Let me see if I can do it on the computer here, too.
And it should give you a share to friends page or something like that.
I know. Facebook ain't so screwy anymore, though.
They got to keep tinkering. Don't know why.
Well, it's so, it make it so that it looks like nobody's making any money, nobody can do anything with it or anything like that. So.
Right. So in the meantime, I'll also give an update on our Kickstarter. Brett and Kevin did an awesome job on the CPOP podcast last night, talking about our Crimson Shadows 2 Kickstarter. And we are now at, when I last checked about 20 minutes ago, we're at $31.54, had another backer come in. So we're now less than $100 away from the next stretch goal, which will give you a second exclusive metal trading card of our Crimson Universe trading card set. So we're almost there, and we're just working away. I got an awesome 4-page short story to add to the end if we hit those stretch goals. Got another bonus cover on top of it. But right now, we are anyone $20 or more, you're automatically qualified for the 2 stretch goals we've already unlocked. And that's for a limited edition variant cover featuring Dale Gruber's black and white artwork that's on the Ultra cover. But this is in black and white instead of the red metal. And then the other trading card, the first trading card, that you qualify for that. So that's $20 in free rewards if you do $20 or more of other rewards.
Yeah, what's cool about that, they're getting 2 comics for the price. You get into the exclusive cover plus the choice of cover you want. I mean, that's at least the minimum you're all getting. So I think it's a great deal.
Yeah, that's the goal. I really want to sweeten the deal here and make it about the Kickstarter fans and making sure they maximize what they get. You buy this same stuff at the show if you see us at a Comic-Con, you're not going to get all the freebies with it. So, might as well get the freebies.
Yep. I'm pulling up the project right now, and so you guys can take a look at this. And
yeah, so if you want to find it, you can either search Crimson Shadows on Kickstarter or go to bardstone.com, click our Kickstarter tab, and it'll give you the link in there.
Yeah, I think definitely go to Bardstone, check it out. And then we were asked last night, we're gonna have to talk about getting our physical store going so people can actually order issues outside of Kickstarter once we
definitely
have more stuff going on. So
yeah, we're building up a nice little inventory of books. Between Brett's got his collection of books through Boomtown and Brett, what was it, BP Publishing?
I got BP Creation / Boomtown Press. It's
there you go.
It's all the same thing. I had years ago thought about switching it over from Boomtown, but I chose to keep that and get that going. Yeah. So here's let me share the Kickstarter page here, and because we got to get a nice little update. We had a nice little jump. We're up to 63 backers, $3,154 right now. Yeah. We are at 7 days to go. And tonight at 7:00, if Scott's willing to join us, he will. If not, it's gonna be Kevin and I talking.
I think I'll be okay to join you. We'll see. Worst case, I'll be doing it this way. If I can't go into the office, I can maybe do it through my phone like this.
Yeah, we'll make sure all that works. We can keep everybody updated and all that. But a lot of cool stuff. And as you can see, I selected the $70 pledge. But this is, we talked about the $20 pledge. So a minimum $20 pledge right here. You can get like the Sean Forney 2-pack. There's the Kevin Miner 2-pack, and the thing is, you don't have to choose those $20 ones. I love the fact that we have add-ons, and for $13 plus all the cool add-on stuff, you can add on something to make yourself $20 or more, and you're gonna get a lot of cool stuff in that. And there's the Dale Gruber. This is the 4x6 metal print that's available, but it's also, that's the artwork that is on the exclusive cover that you're going to get. But here it is, add-on menu. So you do the $13 one and you get to add on $7. Well, for $8, you can add on one of the previous comics that we have, other issues.
And there's Jill Webler.
There's Jill Webler with the t-shirt, the Crimson Shadows t-shirt. So, and then of course you just got in the Crimson Universe trading card. So for $30, you can get 40 cards. Plus you'll be able to get that metal card. And we're looking to get the second one really shortly here. So that'll add to the collection. And it's a great thing to go here. And here's the prints that are available as metal prints. And nice thing is like that, $10 each, all 13.
Yeah, you can get the $8. The minimum for a physical award is an $8 one. So you could do the $8 just single issue of the regular edition, and then through the add-ons you can add on enough rewards to get you over the 20 to qualify for both exclusive stretch goals.
Yep. And for the other limited editions, there's my cover from the first issue. We got Kevin Miner's cover. There's Jay Travis's great cover. I love that black and white cover from the first one. And then of course we got the add-ons for Wretched Realms and everything else. So a lot of cool stuff here. Immortal Beloved Witness, Immortal
Emmanuel.
Yeah. See, I'm trying to read it small and I don't have my glasses on. My glasses are.
Although Jesus is immortal, so it could be called that too.
The Immortal, yes. And then of course, who doesn't need a hand-drawn sketch cover by Scott Zambelli? So $60 for that. So those are all really cool stuff there. So I'm really excited how this Kickstarter's been going. You mentioned about the C-Pop universe last night. We had a lot of fun with them. They had a little bit of technical difficulties. They use a different system than we do, but I turned them on to StreamYard, so hopefully they'll check that out too. And I love our system here with StreamYard. So if they're ever watching and want to sponsor us, we promote them for free anyway. So
that's right.
So, Scott and I talked a little bit ago before he got on. Let me know he's joining us, and he's watched the first half hour or so of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. So I just started that. Jill has not seen that.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the Mortal Kombat video game, Jill?
Not at all. Is it a karate game?
Kind of.
I have no idea.
It was like the first MMA game before MMA.
Yeah.
But it had like really graphic fatalities at the end of each fight.
Okay.
It was very controversial at the time, which is funny looking back because it's tame compared to stuff now. But
well, yeah, it's you had these gory fatalities. You saw, blood, everything else, all really cartoony in a lot of ways, because it was mid '90s graphics for like the arcades as well as Sega Genesis was the big one on the home.
But at the time, those were really good graphics.
Yeah, no, they were spectacular, and actually, they're still not bad. If you go back and look at the game and play it now, it's still not bad. It's
right.
It's not the ultra realistic look of a lot of games now, but it still fits it for what it is. I remember playing at the arcade all the time when in the '90s we'd pop over like the Putt-Putt or something like that, and there's Mortal Kombat, so you'd have to play that a little bit and choose your favorite character of like a dozen different ones. And it was the competitor to Street Fighter.
Yes, Street Fighter was more cartoony. Not as
which
gory. Is why I don't think that one was as controversial.
Yeah, there wasn't the blood and guts. It was just kind of like a tame version of the Kumite. So
yeah, but and on that note, we got the new Mortal Kombat movie out, which we've had Mortal Kombat movies in the past. It is what it is. It's based upon a pretty simple premise of a video game where it's just a fighting game, one-on-one fighting game. Based on what I've seen so far, I'm really enjoying it. Honestly, I wasn't really caring much about this movie, but because it was on HBO Max, I'm like, I'll check it out. And I'm about 30 minutes or so in, and I'm really enjoying it. I think Kano is stealing the scenes already.
Yes.
We'll see how that goes. I like the opening intro, setting up the backstory, and I like the reasoning that they're setting up for the premise of the movie as to why everything's happening right now. So
the opening was my favorite of any of the. I've only seen a couple of the Mortal Kombat movies. The original 95, 96 one, I think it was, or sometime in that they came out with one, and I liked that one. It was fun, but I love the opening sequences. They try to get a little more deeper into some of the mythology of Sub-Zero and Scorpion to set that up. But this is also kind of like a relaunch of this series as movies.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where, they have all these old ones came before. They even had a Mortal Kombat series. So there's a lot of different things out there, but this is kind of just a complete relaunch. Just like they do in the video games, they kind of revamp it and change it up, and like a Mortal Kombat Ultra and stuff like that. So
based on what I saw online, my worry with this was they were just going to focus on just the fatalities and make it as gory as possible. But it's not bad.
No, they actually did put a lot of gore in there. There's a lot of blood, especially in the opening sequences. And
I was expecting like Saw level though.
Yeah, no, but you do get some fatalities, which is kind of interesting. And then you're going to see as it goes on, Scott. And this is my slight spoiler for you: is a couple times the characters will say stuff that's from the video game that was the voiceover.
Well, and I saw Kano do that when he did his finishing move, and he goes, "Kano wins."
Yes,
it's cheesy, but if you're a hardcore fan of the series, you like those kind of Easter eggs.
Yeah, so and that's what I liked about it. It's paying homage to the game. It is what it is. This is not going to be this big, deep movie. I like the mythology they're building behind it. They've always built up the other realms, and that there's always this big battle. And this one, of course, is instead of doing the basic, here's the time for the combat. They bring all these people together, and they do this, basically like a blood sport Kumite, where you're going through the actors pretty quick. Yeah. There's more of a story going on behind that is kind of like behind the actual fight. So they're taking it away from the actual fighting and brought it to Earth.
I also like how they introduced Jax and showed why he has two metal arms.
Yes.
So I thought that was good too.
Yeah, you're actually a little further into it than I thought you would be.
Oh, am I? Okay. That I just turned it off at that point.
Yeah, you're probably, I would say, about 2/3 into it. So.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, he doesn't have the metal arms yet. He lost the arms.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So you're pretty close to that. They show his arms. They show how the Earth characters get their powers. You're starting to see that pop up here and there, and then you see the alliances and who's actually good versus bad, even on the Earth side, and that. So it's a lot. It was good. It was a lot of fun. You've got I'm going to say his name, but Hiroyuki Sanada plays Scorpion, and he was also in the opening sequence.
Yes.
And then Ing Chen Han plays Chang Shung, and then I must butcher this one too. Tadanobu
You're braver
Asano.
than me trying to say those names.
Yeah, Tadanobu Asano.
I think we should
Raiden.
have Jill read the names.
Yeah, but I do like.
He's
doing
a better job than I would do.
Yeah, I like Tananobu Asano as Raiden. I like the way he's portraying it. It's kind of funny because the original, of course, had Christopher Lambert, which everybody panned immediately because it's like, okay, this should not be an American or not an English guy playing, this character. So they went back to that, and then Josh Lawson plays Kano. So
there you go.
I think my weakest character for this whole thing though really is Sonya.
Is it okay?
As an actress, I just think she came through a little more flat, but everybody else I've really enjoyed. And even her, I don't necessarily not like her, but I enjoyed everybody else a lot more. I thought she's a little more flatter than that. Okay. And it could be the way they wrote the character too.
So your thumbs up, thumbs down. What do you recommend for viewers?
I recommend seeing it. And if you're a fan of the movie, it may not be a bad idea to go watch it in the theater so you can see it up on the big screen. It's something that I enjoyed watching on HBO Max. Hadn't planned on going to see it in the theater, even if it wasn't on HBO. Just because there's been so many of those Mortal Kombats, I just kind of got like, okay, I've seen all this stuff. But now I'm glad I watched it. I enjoyed it. I watched it over the weekend after it came on, and it was definitely, I agree with you, a lot better than I thought it would be, especially the opening. The opening 20 minutes, first 20 minutes, and brings you into the story, and then from there, it is what it is. But the story doesn't necessarily get bad; it just goes from there. And then Kevin joined in here; he enjoyed it. The kids loved it. Yeah. Kids are like it. I mean, they're teenage kids, especially. With the gore and the fatalities. Yeah. And I recognize, because I spent a long time to play the game, I recognize certain locations that are supposed to mimic different things within the video games.
Yeah. I agree with you as far as the review, even though maybe I'm like 45 minutes or an hour and I don't know. But I had zero plans of seeing it in the theater, regardless of HBO Max. I didn't even plan on seeing it on HBO Max. It's just I'm sitting there recovering with nothing to do. So I put it on, and so far I'm liking it. And I told Brett off screen, I may even stop watching it and just go see it at the theater and finish it, see the whole thing at the theater. So I when you can't do much physically, sitting is okay for an hour and a half. So, especially in those comfortable recliner chairs. So I may just go and see it at the theater just because I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. So,
well, and I think especially that opening sequence would be really cool on the big screen.
I agree. So, all right, let's get to a topic Jill can join us on.
All right. Should we get ready to Winter Soldier then?
Yeah.
And actually, it's Falcon. It was Falcon and Winter Soldier. Now it's Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I had missed that. I watched it and I just didn't click until Scott told me about that. And I was like, oh, yeah.
At the end credits, the title comes up and then it switches Falcon to Captain America. And I think that's part of setting up. I think they're going to do a season 2 on this.
Well, actually, I will disagree on that only for the fact that they've announced the new movie, Captain America. And
I think there'll be a Captain America, but I think they're going to use, I think the team up's going to, I have a feeling they're going to do a second season.
Well, if they do it, they haven't announced it because they announced the Captain America movie afterwards. Correct. And Anthony Mackie had put out saying he found out about the movie when he was at the grocery store, and his cashier Dwayne said, "Is this true?" And he goes, "Well, I guess it is." And then he got a call later that day saying we need to come to LA so we can talk about stuff. So he's got his own movie coming out. They haven't announced the release date on that. I'm kind of thinking with Marvel, Scott and Joe, what do you think? Is they announced all these movies initially, and then, with COVID, it did change some things, but I'm wondering how many of those actual releases for later on in a couple of years were actually all red herrings.
I had that same thought, like this Captain America 4, or are they realizing the power through Disney Plus, the power of these established characters, and maybe they're not so willing to let these characters go.
Mm-hmm. No, and that's know. I think they've noticed that with Disney Plus and just being a year and a half old, the amount of talent they have that they can put into these series. I mean, one thing I was really paying attention. I watched it again last night after we talked and after I was done with the podcast, and I love the fact they were filming this thing in cinema mode, 235-1. They didn't film it for TV; they filmed it for the big screen.
Yeah,
and I really would love to have seen this entire series up on the big screen.
Yeah.
They did it cinematically like that, but I think they've realized that they've got the ability to really bounce seamlessly between these Disney Plus series and the movies.
Another thing too, the benefit Disney might have, well, a couple things. One, Disney might be realizing via Star Wars the importance of doing what the fans like. And, they tried it their own way. Then Mandalorian came going more old school, and the popularity went through the roof again. And I think it restored a lot of the damage done previously. The Luke Skywalker scene in Mandalorian shows the love people have of these characters. And so I have a feeling Disney is learning from that.
Yeah.
Also, the characters, they've had these actors a long time. A lot of them, their deals ended. But I wonder if these actors also, with COVID, getting a break from everything, kind of felt refreshed. Like, you know what, Marvel, I'm willing to come back.
Well, I think for some we might see that. I think for a lot of them,
Scarlett Johansson might be coming back.
Well, they killed her off, but there could be a way to bring her back, as they can. In fact, if you want to find out how they bring characters back, read my book, The Expendables.
That's right.
So now, Jill, you come to these. Do what? Sorry, Joe, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I wonder too. So, I would see the movies at the theater. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I would see the movies at the theater, but I never knew the in-depth background of the characters. This format of being able to watch it at my home is much, I can slow it down, speed it up, watch it over and over. For me personally, I'm feeling more connected to these characters. It's making me want to go see, like if they had, with Captain America, I really didn't know the backstory of him. I knew nothing about him, to be honest with you. But now I've grown to like his character. So for me, when something comes out to the big screen, I'm going to be more likely to now want to go see it. I know, more about him. So I think this is a way of getting a greater fan base. So I think that the little pieces we're getting here at home is going to drive more business to the theaters when they do come out with movies.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to ask, actually, was I know, Jill, you come from this from a different perspective than Scott and I. I mean, I grew up reading comics as well as watching all the stuff from the old shows, old movies, and everything else. You've kind of come into this more fresh where you had no backstory on that. Backstory. So now you're getting a new Captain America. You knew about the old one from watching some of the movies with Scott and on your own in that. Yeah. So what is your take even on this change within Captain America's?
Okay, so regarding what we've been watching here at the house, I kind of thought it was a little slow moving for me. But Scott was there to point out different things about what was going on. So he had to fill in a lot for me.
Jill likes to fall asleep to TV shows.
Okay. I do. I get comfortable. But I like the direction of this Captain America. I like they make the point of, can the world handle an African-American Black America? And that, it made me start thinking about that a little bit. But they did a great job of introducing him. Like he does, you feel the depth of how he takes this serious. Like he's not just, I'm going to be a strong super. Like he wants it to be honorable. He wants to be strong, and he doesn't want to let the world down. And so they did a great job in building his character into somebody that's likable and that you root for. So I don't know if that answers your question or not.
No,
but as far as the Captain America series that they built up, I am now someone that's a fan of his and is cheering for him. Where before I really didn't care one way or the other what happened to
him. He was just the Falcon to you, and now he's something a little bit more. So well, exactly. Since we only had 6 episodes in this, I assume you would like to see more as a series and the movies of dealing with these characters.
Yes.
Now it's kind of going to be a lead into the next thing. We got a little bit of a reprieve on these series for a while, so we get Loki. Now, are you familiar with the Loki character and what he's going to be about?
Very much. I actually like Loki. He's that little bit of devious that wants to do right that makes his character so interesting. So yeah, I would definitely be interested in learning more about him.
Okay. I'm excited about the new series, and I've been seeing reports pop up that one may get renewed and do 3 seasons of. So I'm thinking, here's my irresponsible speculation on this, is that we could be seeing the Loki series be the one that's going to weave in and out, since he's got the time cube, and maybe they don't resolve that during this first season, if that's the case. And he could be weaving in and out of the different movies and TV shows as they go forward, since he is kind of a fan favorite character.
The other benefit they have in doing something like that is they can use Loki to fix continuity errors or retcons that they're going to be doing moving forward. So they can have Loki jump into a time frame and change history. Mm-hmm. So whatever the new direction they're going in doesn't violate past continuity.
I think that'd be definitely the way to go. It makes it a lot better than doing the X-Men way of, well, we'll just ignore it and write something else.
Right. So that's where I think the Loki series can actually be a fun, entertaining way of retconning a lot of stuff, explaining changing actors for different roles or whatever they want, because they're going to have multiverses. We got time change going on, all this stuff. So who knows? And everyone loves Tom Hiddleston as Loki. It's hard to imagine him as Thor, which is who he actually auditioned to be. Chris Hemsworth is so perfect as Thor, and
he is perfect, yeah.
And Tom Hiddleston is so perfect as Loki.
Yeah, I think it's funny when you hear about these actors that try out for one role and get another one. You realize, no, you're more perfect for this. It's like,
well, even Sebastian Stan originally auditioned for Captain America, I believe.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see him auditioning, but he's much better as Bucky. And
right, I can't picture him as Captain America. So. And speaking of which, he did a phenomenal job, I think, in this series as the Winter Soldier. I like the angle they took of him dealing with his past, and how he got through it. The story arc he had. Who thought Zemo? I thought Zemo was one of the lamest villains in Marvel history, but this series, I absolutely loved him.
Well, I think that's why they did it right by it. They looked back and said, okay, we really didn't use them enough in this, and maybe that was an original plan, was like, we're just going to introduce them, and then because they like to do that, is just throw characters out there and then maybe they'll revisit them later if they want to, and go from there. So, and even with the Sarah Carter, I mean, we've gotten a lot more out of her. We learned she's the power broker now.
Yeah, I gotta say, for me personally in this series, that was the weakest part of the whole series. I don't buy her become her. She was so loyal in the movies to Shield, and I just don't see this switch coming from nowhere like they did. Maybe they'll explain it more how she got to this point. But for me as a viewer, I just don't buy it yet.
Well, and there's one thing that we could have with this. Is this really Sarah Carter, or is this an alien?
Oh, hold on, because Secret Wars is supposed to be coming.
Yes.
Oh, hold up there. Now it makes sense.
Now, Jill, have we lost yet, Jill?
There we go.
Yeah, you lost me on that one.
Which, didn't they even include one of the aliens in one of the scenes?
WandaVision,
that's right.
Yes.
I think you're onto something. I think she's, what are those? The Skrulls?
Yep.
I think she's a Skrull and she shapeshifted.
Yeah, because it's kind of interesting that now, of course, with her character, if she's not a Skrull, this is the only thing I think is during the 5 years that after the blip, her viewpoint on everything changed,
right,
and everything else, and that's the only thing I can see with her. But we still don't know who all is a Skrull, who is not, and Jill, are you familiar with the character of the Skrulls?
I'm not.
Okay. I don't think you saw the Captain Marvel movie, did you?
No.
Okay, they're in there.
Okay, and the Skrulls and the Kree and the comics had they were always at battle. They've mentioned it in Guardians of the Galaxy a little bit. There's been hints of that. The Skrulls have showed up, and they did a little more with them in the Captain Marvel movie. In that they're an alien race that can shapeshift. And then in the comics, it varied on. And then they had what's called Super Skrulls, which is ones that took on the powers of all the Fantastic Four. We haven't seen that yet because we haven't gotten the Fantastic Four in the MCU, but they have made the Skrulls at this time more of good guys. But in the comics, they really weren't always good guys.
I think in the Captain Marvel movie, they do mention factions, though. I think there's good and evil. Yeah,
it's just like anywhere. We're dealing with these Skrulls they're all kind of refugees, and so they've kind of been incorporated into Earth and have been around for decades now via the Captain Marvel movie. When you see that, and then we're leading to a Secret Wars, which is going to tie into the Skrulls. And there's been a lot of hints that they're going to reveal more of the Skrulls in the Infinity War movies, but they didn't. So I think that's all in this next phase.
And I have a feeling, too, with Fantastic Four coming on board, they probably, I mean, there could be a lot of reasons why, but it would make sense to say, well, they fit well with the Fantastic Four franchise, so maybe we'll delay that storyline until we have them going.
Right. And I think I agree with that. I think that's where we're going to see more of them. It's like at the end of WandaVision when the one character she changes into a Skrull, and we kind of see that. So I was going to share this. This is the from the Marvel Cinematic Universe wiki page, and that's the kind of the Skrulls there. I'll see if I can get the picture bigger here. Of course, I like the aliases are insidious shapeshifters, lizards, and ugly bastards. But so that's a Skrull right there, and
that's in their natural shape.
Now we didn't see any Skrulls in the Falcon Winter Soldier series. And of course, this was centering on the main characters and then introducing some other aspects of the current world. And I think that's what really this series has helped doing, along with the last Spider-Man movie, even WandaVision a little bit, and I'm sure with Loki, is they're really trying to move everything forward, saying, okay, the blip happened, they're not going to erase it, they're not getting rid of that happening, and everything's moving forward from there. And then that allows a lot of the changes to happen. Plus, with that 5-year gap in time, there's a lot of things that could have happened they can really go into, like we're talking about retconning and change some things. There's things that could have happened in there that will help facilitate that even more.
Speaking of the 5-year blip, what I love about Marvel is their patience. They're so patient, even with these Skrulls. Like Sharon Carter could be a Skrull. Marvel doesn't feel a need to reveal everything all at once. They are very patient in how they unfold stories, which is very rewarding. Whenever the reveal happens, you're like, oh wow, that is so cool that they've been setting this up for so long. But regarding Falcon or Captain America and Winter Soldier, I love also how Marvel keeps revisiting, what are the real world consequences of half the world's population just reappearing after 5 years, and people whose houses were abandoned are now lived in, and who gets that house? Is it the current owner, or is the old owner entitled to it? And you had the final speech of Captain America, aka the Falcon, which I thought was a very good way to end the series with that speech. I've seen a lot of people complain about it, feeling it was preachy. I didn't feel that way at all. And people who know me know I'm very conservative in my views, but it fit the character. I don't think it felt spoon-fed to the audience. It fit. I felt the writers really struck the proper balance in how they addressed it. And I think even the so-called, greedy politicians who were like the bad guys in this argument, they even made some good points, and Captain America, the Falcon, recognized those points. He even acknowledged, goes, yes, I don't know how hard these decisions are, So I thought they really did a great job of that occurring.
I liked it too, and what I liked was the same thing you said there. It was like there's these issues, and he did try to say this is how you fix it. That's where they showed with the Flag Smashers. Their idea was there's only one way to fix it, their way. They didn't want to discuss any of the issues. They didn't want to discuss any of the changes, understand different points of view. It was our way or no way. And that's why they went in to stop the vote that was going to happen. They basically were willing to kill everybody, including themselves, at least the main person was, where Captain America came and said, look, no, we know there's issues. This girl died here for these issues. There's going to be another one. And like he said, you don't want Carly 2.0. And I think that's true even in modern day. We don't want, some of the big bads we've seen in our histories, and from the Hitlers to the Saddam Husseins to whatever. You don't want the 2.0s of some of those, because it's going to be even worse than that. But we have to address different issues, different point of views. And he came and said, I haven't got all the answers, but we have to all work together at this. And him taking on a mantle that he knows that people are not going to like. And that's even true in the real world. Watching this is people are going to like, I don't want a black Captain America. There's only one. And that's, and that was even in the comics that way. People that are comic fans said there's only one Captain America.
Well, and they even addressed the issue on both sides there. Yeah. Yes, there will be there's racism in the world. We live in a broken, fallen world, and it'd be awesome if that didn't exist. But the reality is, it does for some people. But what I liked is they also addressed it from the black point of view, where Isaiah Bradley didn't want a black Captain America. He felt it was a disgrace for if a black man took the shield. And I loved how they showed Sam struggling with that decision and what it means to him. And then even showing how he won Isaiah Bradley over.
Yes.
At the end, and made him proud.
Yeah, well, he won him over before he took him to see the museum thing. Because he showed him that I understand the struggle, I understand everything he went through, and he realized that for me to combat this racism, combat the other problems that are going on, is I have to take up this mantle. I have to be the person that says I'm not going to allow it to not happen, and I have to show the integrity. And that's what I love about the way Anthony Mackie's been playing these characters. I truly feel like he's bringing a lot of his own integrity out as who he is as a person, because there's acting and then there's actually, just being who you are. And he's bringing so much out that I've just been so impressed through this whole series on his integrity as a character, and the integrity that's got to come through as an actor.
Right. And I think also this showcases, they've done such a great job of who is Captain America. Now, Captain America was Steve Rogers. And for Steve Rogers, Captain America was just simply a title. He was always true to who he was. And you see two different paths emerge with Captain America. You have Sam, who was close friends with Steve Rogers and wanted to honor who Steve Rogers was and continue that legacy. Then you had John Walker, who was trying to be Captain America. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he was trying too hard, and the weight was too much for him. And we saw the path it took him down, versus Sam, who just kind of became Captain America. He didn't, it wasn't a title that the government granted him or anything. He took it on.
And in a lot of ways, it was similar to Steve Rogers. When you watched, now, Jill, you saw the Captain America First Avenger, correct?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So when we meet Steve Rogers, he's a scrawny kid. They do the super serum and they bring him big.
Yes.
But they didn't walk out going, here's Captain America. It became, okay, this is the super soldier program. And the Captain America was a stage thing. It was like, here's Captain America, buy war bonds.
Right.
And he didn't become Captain America, the hero, until he found out that his friend and the platoon were missing, and he just went after him. And that's where, just like Sam, it was not even about, you can call me Captain America all you want. He didn't become Captain America until he decided to do something that honored what America was and the shield and everything else.
And also throughout the movies, he always introduced himself as Steve Rogers.
Yes.
John Walker made sure every conversation he let people know, I am Captain America. Constantly, every time he would say it. Steve Rogers, you would never hear that.
Yeah. And I did like that Sam walked through and everybody knew him as the Falcon, which is what the media dubbed him initially, and that's what he stuck with. And the first thing was, who are you? I'm Captain America. And he just moved on. It was no if, and, or but, and it was no introduction. He just made a statement. And his statement was, I am Captain America. And it wasn't like John Walker, who was trying to say, hey, Captain America, just call me Captain America, Right. So, because everybody knows he's still Sam. I mean, he's got no secret identity. They know who he is. They know who his family is. And I love that aspect of this whole story too, was the whole family aspect for Sam.
Yeah. So in season 2, if we get that, we'll see how Bucky Barnes is going to become brother-in-law to Sam. I think him and the sister keep being near each other.
Oh,
there's something going on there.
I thought it was hilarious though. We got Sam's like, yeah, you can stay, and don't hit on my sister.
It's like too late. The sister was eyeing him.
Oh, the sister was like, oh yeah, I like me some old man.
I don't know if she knows that he's over 100 years old yet. That might change the dynamic.
So, Jill, coming from a different perspective than Scott and I, what are your hopes for the series going forward in movies? Is there something you're hoping you'll see more out of these, in terms of not necessarily just characters, but just anything like a general, like we talk about how, the integrity of a character. Is there something you're hoping that when they go forward, you continue to see them build upon?
So we're talking about any character
or anything,
or just Captain America? Any character?
Anything Marvel.
Well,
anything Marvel.
Okay. So you already know this, I'm sure. Women, we tend to we want to see things that we can relate to, and so from a woman's perspective, we can relate to characters that have strong character and that are there to protect and whatnot. So like I really relate to those superheroes that want to do that. But in order to appreciate good, you have to have bad or evil represented as well to make it an interesting movie. So I don't know. I'm enjoying the way they're doing it now. They're kind of hand feeding us these little characters, here at home. I like it in anticipation of seeing something amazing at the theater. So I hope they will continue this route.
Okay.
As far as the format, if that's your question.
I think
as far as the character style, I don't know. I know men, and I don't want to characterize because maybe this is just me, but I know men love the fighting and the more blood the better and all that. But I still like the ones where there's something to fight for and the good outweigh the bad. And so I don't know. That's what I like to see.
Well, I think that's what Marvel has always been good for is you have a definite line between you get some blurs here and there with people realizing that they may not be doing good, but they're trying to do good. It's always different perspectives, but there's always definitely a line that gets drawn at some point where you can definitely see where you need to be bad. And they've always done that in introducing these great characters, and that's one thing I loved about Marvel growing up, as well as all the movies and series we've gotten recently is we get good villains because you can't have good heroes without good villains.
Right.
And
right.
and there's different levels of the villains that just completely bad. They need to be gone. You have those that they feel they're doing good by doing the bad. That's where you get like a Thanos or even a Loki coming in.
And I feel like I think they're going that direction with Doctor Doom too. They keep bringing up the Sokovia thing. I have a feeling that's going to become the origin story of Doctor Doom.
And that's very possible. We're waiting to see what they do with that because it's a lot of great characters they haven't done right in the past in other movies that they can deal with. And definitely with Doctor Doom, he's always been one that even in the comics he was the leader of a country. He fought the Fantastic Four, and there was always he had a very similar thing of Thanos is I'm always doing this for the greater good, though it may not be what you agree with.
If I remember correct, in the comics for Infinity War, Doom that actually killed Thanos.
I don't remember.
I want to say Doom is the one that ultimately kills Thanos.
Yeah,
but I could be wrong on that. I might be mixing it up with something else, one of the other crossover series. But I thought it was Infinity War. But
it's been.
Well, it'll be interesting with Loki to see how they keep that going because what made him balance and that you actually cared about him was Thor. Thor relating to him as his brother and always trying to kind of be there for him. So I don't know if they're going to carry Thor into the Loki series or what they're going to balance to make you like Loki as a character.
Yeah, we've got
really be our first time without Thor and Loki. So
yeah,
and we do know Thor's coming back. So we got a new Thor movie later this year. Was it Love and Thunder? I think it is.
Yeah,
it sounds like it's a cheesy
Natalie
name.
Portman back.
Yes.
What is going on with Thor? Is he getting soft?
Well, they're supposed to be introducing her as a different version of Thor. They had different Thors, between like Beta Ray Bill and a couple others that had the godlike powers of thunder and that. So I think we're going to see some of that. But I went back and watched the Thor Dark World the other week, and I actually enjoyed it more now with everything that's happened since then in the movies than I did when I initially saw it.
Yeah, I agree. That's one of the things Marvel has done whenever they come out with new content, it seems to improve the older movies.
Mm-hmm. Because there's so much little tidbits here and there, little things going on, and it's like Kat Dennings, seeing her again in Thor Dark World, and then like, oh, she was in WandaVision, and her character feels exactly the same. It didn't feel like it was any different than that. So the writing's been very consistent, going from a movie 6 years ago or something to a TV show they filmed about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I think that's really the secret. Marvel has done such an amazing job keeping all of their creative team together, their writers, their actors, their artists. And it's been able to create this unified feel throughout, I mean, what is it now, 12 or 13 years since they started?
It's been 2007 or 8 since Iron Man came out. So yeah 13 years. So it's and that's ones I haven't revisited in a while is the Iron Man movies. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch those again too because they were done.
Bring him back through his hologram. Yeah. He might have this AI system that downloaded his memories, and they could have him down as like it'll be like Uncle Ben or Uncle Ben's Ben Kenobi's Force Ghost.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see Robert Downey Jr. show up. I could just see Robert Downey. He'll show up. He'll be the Iron Man ghost. He'll have the sunglasses. He'll have a glass of something, and he'll be like, "I'm back." He'll probably be the new Jarvis, but he'll make sure instead of being just a voice, he's a full-on walking hologram, and he'll have like a device that just flies and it's constantly projecting his hologram. So we kind of talked a lot of Marvel and all that stuff this time. So I want to ask Jill. Jill, is there any movies or TV series looking forward to that are not Marvel related? It could be anything.
Oh gosh. I don't even know what's coming out anymore. I don't know.
Well, we were looking on the Netflix shows, that Shadow and Bone, I think it's called.
Series. Yes, that launched last Friday, I believe.
That looks interesting. What was that other show you pulled up? Sinner or?
I've been watching that Bridgerton, I think it's called.
Oh, I watched Bridgerton, yeah.
You did? I just started it. It looks good. Did you enjoy that?
I actually did. It was interesting. It's definitely female centric in terms of geared toward women watching it with the way they looked and everything else. I watched, people were talking about it online a few months back, so I watched it and ended up watching the whole series because I had really nothing else to watch, and I enjoyed it for what it was. It was good. It's based on, I guess, a series of books, and this first season I think is on the first book. And so some of the characters are kind of interesting. I like the production design, the sets, the costumes, things of that really kind of drew me in more than the story itself. The story is it's kind of that interesting kind of, it's set during a time in England when the royals and the things like that in 1800s, and it's kind of got loosely based on some actual history but not fully factual.
Yeah. Some of the past series that I really liked, which I don't know if they're coming out with another season, but I love the Ozark. That was awesome. So I'm hoping they're going to continue that series.
There's one more season.
Yeah, we got a 4th season. That's going to be the final one. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that. And then Dead to Me. I really liked that series. I think they're coming out with another season of that as well.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Dead to Me was a good one.
Yeah, I'm probably not a good person to even ask because I don't really watch TV that much. Once I met Scott, I suddenly was watching a little bit more, because he has some interesting views and things. So I'm watching TV in a different way. Before it was just kind of laid back entertainment, whatever. But with Scott, we discuss a lot of the details and how movies are related, with the superheroes and all that. So it's forcing me to kind of look at it a little bit different.
Okay. Very cool.
You love The Mandalorian too.
Love The Mandalorian. That was really good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, coming into that, you probably had you seen much Star Wars before The Mandalorian and before Scott?
I did, but I was a type of person, and I know this sounds really boring, but I would go to the movies, get my popcorn and my drink, enjoy the movie for the moment. Once I left the theater, it was out of my mind. I didn't think about it again. I wasn't connecting movies. I wasn't discussing movies. It was just like...
To clear the record, though, she still is this way. All she cares about is the popcorn. The movie is just the excuse for the popcorn.
It's true.
Well, I can understand that.
Movies is just some time to relax.
I don't even want to go.
I have a friend. I have a friend that's the same way. I have a friend that enjoys movies. We'll talk a little bit about movies, but it's about the popcorn and the snacks and the slushies and.
Right, I'm entertained for 2 hours, but then when it's over, it's over.
Very cool. Well, hey, we're getting close to being done time. Jill, I always appreciate you being on with us. Glad Scott got to join us.
Thank you for asking me.
I'm going to do a little update here since we're going to talk tonight at 7, but we're still at 3154. Scott, what's the next stretch goal so I don't have to scroll the page?
Yep. So we're less than $100 away now. The second stretch goal, all people of orders of $25 or more will qualify for all 3 stretch goals. We've got, and this one will be the second exclusive metal trading card. Mm-hmm. So we'll have 2 trading cards and the limited edition. That's $25 worth of free gifts if you do $25 or more in pledges. So you get all the $25 worth of rewards you're buying, plus $25 in free rewards.
And those that have already pledged can increase their pledge. We've had a few people do that recently. So you can get these stretch goals added in as we get the higher level stretch goals where you need to have a higher dollar amount. Because if we do hit the big one, I believe you have to have a $40 just to get the Frankenstein cover one.
And I'm also going to go into the add-on menus. I'm going to add 2 more add-ons. The limited edition that's been unlocked and the metal card that's unlocked, I'm going to add those. So if you want to get extra, you'll be able to. So you can order the additional copies, but you will still get the free ones added. So if you qualify, and you only want one, don't add it on.
Yeah, yeah, because you're going to get 2 then, and you're paying for
it. So I'm going to add those though, because you might want to buy extra copies as gifts for other people.
Fantastic. Well, Jill, again, thank you for joining us, Jill Webler, the legend.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yep, you're welcome anytime, of course.
And we'll be on tonight at 7.
Scott, you feel better if you're on a computer? Great. If not, we'll do this phone thing. I'll make sure I'll get it all set up ahead of time so it's ready to go tonight. But I'm gonna run the trailer so you guys can check out the Crimson Shadows 2 Kickstarter. We got 1 week to go, and we'll see you all next week with Scott feeling better. Bye, guys.
Bye.